morning, and I want to welcome you all to the Levi Studio Community Roundtable. I want to thank each of you all for coming today, and I also want to thank our candidates for being here today. I'm Valerie Trice, one of the co-owners of Levi Studio, and I am just a concerned citizen here in Americus. The objective by hosting this forum was to create a safe space for the candidates and the community to come together so that we can talk about what's important to Americans. Like I say, I'm just a concerned citizen, a retired educator, and I tell everybody I'm just a round-the-clock community volunteer. I'm here, I'm there, my feet, my hands are in a little bit of everything. So I just became interested in the election. I'm interested, and I always have been interested in the future of Americas. Since I was 18 years old, I hit the ground running, trying to make a difference in my community. And my goal here today was to give us a safe space, because we're at a crossroads here in Americas. We can either go backwards, we can stay the same, or we can move forward. And what I want to see, because I have a 12-year-old son in this community, but I also am a teacher, an educator. So when I say I have a 12-year-old son, I have hundreds of children that are a reflection of me and what I believe in this community. And I want to make Americas the best I can for them. So I am interested in knowing that those people that will be in the government for the next few years all care about Americans, care about moving Americans forward, and care about doing what's right for our children. Today, we don't have a long program schedule, but we want you all to be informed about what's going on. So I am going to turn the floor over in just a moment to Mr. Darrell Sapp Sr., who is our host for the event. But I just want you to know that until 11:45 today, you are able to go to our welcome table and submit questions. If you have a question, you can submit it to that welcome table, and we'll get it to the candidates. To each of the candidates, I want to thank you for coming today. I also want to thank you for taking an interest in Americans and doing what's right for us. I've had a chance to talk to almost every last one of you all personally. The passion for Americans is there. And I just want you all to know that whatever the outcome of Tuesday's election, I want you to push the vision forward, push the movement forward, and keep working for Americans. I made a Facebook post a couple of weeks ago, and just the honest truth and all that I know how to say, I love Americas. I love Americas, I love the community, I love the people. So I just want to see what's best for our community. So I challenge each of you, no matter the outcome, come Tuesday, to continue to love Americas, continue to do what's best, and let's continue to work together, because that's the only way we're going to get things done. We can put a Band-Aid on like we've been doing, or we can get together, perform CPR, and move forward. I want to first start by thanking the people that are helping today. We have our table moderators. We have Mr. Seneca Harris, Miss Jelena C., and Miss Kim Fuller. Our timekeeper today is none other than the beautiful, talented Brittany Wright McGrady, my baby sister, my right-hand lady. So each of the candidates, as you'll see on your program, have a time limit. Miss Brittany is going to make sure that those time limits are observed. When the candidates are fully engaged and ready to speak, our stoplight here will be green. When half of their time has expired, she'll change it to yellow. And when the stoplight turns red, they are to stop speaking. And I would be remiss if I did not mention two very important people. When I say that I have hundreds of children across Americas, they're all across the United States. I called on these two people to be here to speak today from the youth perspective, and they both said yes. One was injured and told me that she could not make it, and then she called back and said that I'll be here because I like to follow through. And I taught both of these young people when they were in the 8th grade at Stable Middle School, and whenever I called on them for whatever I need, Mrs. Alexis Burton Willis and Mr. Deshaun Iverson. So they are going to speak to us from the youth perspective today as well. So, not to take too much credit, but I am their 8th grade language arts teacher, so if they do really well, they got it from me. So, Mr. Darrell Sapp Sr. will now join us, and he will do our candidate introductions, and we'll start our roundtable day. Again, thank you for coming.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
How y'all doing this morning?
All right, how you doing, brother?
This is going to be nice.
Yes.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be informative. And we're going to be able to, as a family, come together. This is really a listening session, right? This opportunity for us to learn, for us to listen, and as was said, to be able to appreciate as a community. You know, unlike Washington, D.C., we live together, we thrive together, and we work together. And so because of that, we solve together. And so I'm so pleased to see these kind of opportunities of our community coming together to say we need this kind of conversation because this is what's important to us. So thank you for coming. Ms. Trice, thank you for putting this together. And let's go on and have a little bit of fun with this today. Okay, this is not a debate. Okay? It's a listening session. And it's a conversation for us to be able to encourage some of our candidates. This is first time experience for them in doing this. And if you don't know, when you put your name on that ballot and say that you're stepping up and requesting a position of leadership, Brother Brown, you are now vulnerable publicly to any and everything that can be said about you. Isn't that right? And so for you to step up and say, I want to do that, that's very encouraging to all of us. And I think my hat off to all of you, because I know what you're going through, and I know what the experience is, but I'm proud of you for stepping up and wanting to do that. So let's get started. I understand that our young people are 40% of the population, but 100% of the future. So the only thing for us to do to start this is to hear from our young people first. So let's hear the wishes and the desires and the dreams of our youth as we sort of set focus and get started. Why don't you come on up? It's yours. What you want to see? What's your interest? Why are you here?
Well, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Deshaun Iverson, and I'll give you a little bit of background about me. Yes, I am from Americus. I'm a proud graduate of the Americus Sumter High School, as it was once named. I am also a proud two-time graduate of Troy University in Troy, Alabama. And I am currently a public middle school educator. I am a band director at Smith Station Junior High School in Smith Station, Alabama. I teach 350 middle schoolers every single day. I am very tired standing right now having this conversation because I work with them all the time, but it is one of my greatest joys. And in addition to doing that work, I am beyond proud to stand here as a representative for young people for Americus, Georgia. I mean, I stand here not just as one person, but as part of a generation that believes in the promise of our city, and a generation that loves this community deeply, and one that also recognizes that there's still a lot of work to be done. And while I'm not necessarily a public speaker, I am a writer, so please allow me to share with you some things that I've written in honor of our great community. When I have conversations with peers and individuals about things that are going on in this town, specifically in schools and on sports teams and local events, the same conversations and the same concerns come up over and over and over again. We want Americus to be a great place where every young person has the opportunity to feel seen and be supported and be safe, and a place where we have the tools to learn and have opportunities to grow and have the courage to lead. As an educator, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about my thoughts on education, and we know that it is one of the most important foundations that students need in order to achieve. But in today's time, especially in our local schools, reading and literacy concerns are a very, very real challenge. I teach 7th graders who read on a 1st grade reading level. And that's a big concern. And that considered, we need more programs, especially here and just about everywhere, that focus on literacy development, not just in early childhood, but also all the way through high school. Imagine if every student, if every single one had access to after-school reading clubs or tutoring programs or community literacy mentors, just how much more functional they would be for society. We could change that story for so many young people because if we're being honest, when you can read, you can dream. And when you can dream, you can lead.
Yes.
We also care very, very deeply about safety, and crime is a big concern here in Americus. When I get asked often, Deshaun, when are you coming back to work in Americus and be a music educator here? And I would love the opportunity to do that, but I fear the opportunity to do that because of the amount of crime that is here. And we all see it, and we all feel it, and we want to be part of the solution. But safety is not just about punishment, it's also about prevention. And it starts with creating safe spaces for young people, allowing them to gather and have conversations like the one we're having right now, and the opportunity to express themselves, and also being able to be creative and talk about mental health, and getting mentorship programs so that we can have opportunities to lead our young people in the direction that we want them to go. We would like more opportunities to work and lead and network in a variety of professions. There are so many talented young people here in Americus. We have writers, we have athletes, we have designers, we have inventors, we have business owners, but we need more opportunities to connect with professionals who can guide us. Mentorship programs will be something to help that. Leadership conferences will be something to help that. The opportunity to be an intern somewhere would also be something that would help that. And giving students and young people the opportunity to not just be prepared for the future, but also allowing them to shape it would be something that's helpful as well.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful job, Deshaun. Thank you so very much.
Alexis? Alexis, come on up. How you doing?
Okay. Is it okay? Good morning.
Good morning.
I just want to first start off by saying, for someone that's not a public speaker, that was amazing. My name is Alexis Burton Willis Fletcher. I normally just say pick a last name. I am a Americus native. I love Americus. Hereby swear by Americus, and I do feel like everything he touched on was just hit perfectly. Me personally, I represent the special education department, and that's my future because I have a 5-year-old son who has autism. So whenever I think about how we're shaping Americans, that's what I lead off of. Community is used loosely. I feel like sometimes we try to put everybody in a box and we can't do that. Some people have different strengths, and I think those should be more focused upon. I don't think I don't believe funding is the biggest problem. I think us coming together is the hugest problem. We pay more attention to titles than we do fellowshipping, maybe. The whole shaping of America is just helping your neighbor. We can all thrive if that's just the main focus. See what your neighbor needs, and that'll just start a pipeline to seeing what the children need. Because I do believe that if adults aren't taken care of, the children aren't taken care of. He hit the head on the nail whenever he said about those activities, the mentorship, the after-school programs. I'm a product of the mentorship because I reached out to that English teacher of mine. I reached out to Mr. Lorenzo with Eckert Connects, just making those partnerships. But if I didn't remove myself from the environment in which I grew up and then come back, what would they have looked like? You know what I mean? But all of those connections are here in Americus. You know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. I know somebody that, you know what I mean? And like I said, if we just all come together, what Americus could be. I don't come from an educational background, but I come from lived-in experience. And that has just shaped my world. I teach any and everything that I know because that's just a small seed planted, just like our teachers plant those small seeds. But I think we, as the younger generation, we need access. And what that looks like comes from collaborating with the GSWs, the South Georgia Techs, the barbers, the jewelers, the people that make up Americus, long story short. And I want to touch on these major things. I know we think our youth is just so troubled, but a lot of them cannot read. And communication is a form of behavior, and it's so easy to revert back to the crime and what we're not seeing, what we're not doing, but they are our future. And a lot of our older generation don't want to let go of their security within those jobs, within those positions. And I don't feel like that's right because we have all this light here that needs to be shined upon. Sharpen me. Iron sharpen iron. That is the truest thing I've ever heard. And I just feel like we do more of that than America will thrive. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alexis and Sean, for that input, for setting the tone. And thank you, Ms. Trice, for realizing that we need to be more intentional about leadership development for our young people. So we thank you so much. Let's get right to it with the candidates. Now let's see who is here. So I want each candidate, I'm going to give you 2 minutes, but I want each candidate to introduce themselves. I want to know who you are. I want to know why you're running. And I want to know what value or perspective you bring. Again, who you are, why you're running, and what value or perspective you bring. And I'm going to start from this end. Travis Rush.
Thank you, Mr. Saps. My name is Travis Rush. I'm a byproduct of this city, this great city of Americus. Born and raised here, parents, totally activists here in the city of Americus. Why am I running? I'm running because I have a passion for this city, to see growth, to see progression, to see clarity. Where we need integrity, we need transparency, we need quality, we need those stability in progression. I believe that Americus has a lot of potential. Americus is a city that shines. But there's also some challenges that we face. And the values that I bring to the table is that value of collaboration. Because I believe that we have the resources right here in Americus. We have the skill set, we have the mindset to move this city forward. But we lack the leadership that can work across the aisles with everyone. You see this room? This is why I'm running. Because we're not engaged as citizens. And I'm running to bring the city together to engage in these discussions, to help make the right decisions. There's not a one answer fit all. But there is a collective group that can come together for the betterment of this city to move this city forward. And so that's why I'm running for mayor, to be the leader, to work with this council, to bring the change that we so desire. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to skip over and jump out of line a little bit to, what's my name tag up here? Who took the name tag? Lorenzo. That's all right. That's okay. Next is Brother Lorenzo Johnson. Come on up. Give me your.
I want to thank the committee, Travis and you, Sal, for holding this event. I've been out for a minute doing a lot of different things. This is my first actual forum, but I come from a long line of conversations, right? Let me tell you a little about myself. I'm born here in Americus, Georgia. Lived in District 5 over 50 years, so I understand that history. Raised a family here, 2 great young men and a wonderful daughter who's also from this community. Throughout my years, I have worked closely with young adults and adults. My profession is one of them servant leaders. I always had jobs that called me to stay in Americus to a certain degree. I always tried to move and expand my horizon, but my calling is different when you know that the community needs some real strong leadership and bring back some integrity and transparency to these positions. I want to also give Alexis her kudos. She's one of my former students that I had a career pathway with Americus Connect. I took a lot of high school graduates with program internship and how to handle what to do and how not to do it. And so I came from that environment knowing that the youth are the future, but we said it so willingly, but we don't put the work back into the actions. So the reason why I'm running is because I think for a while, I got out of politics in 2014. If you don't know, I was a former council member in 2006 and 2014. I was a young man, I think, about early 30s. And I came in kind of new to the position. But what I understood then, I understand now, sometimes you got to be quiet to learn, right? And I understood that then, I understand that now. So being the biggest voice in terms is not always the best thing to do. So why I'm running is because I think my district, District 5, needs some representation that represent underserved. We are a district that continue to have less services, less concerns about what that looks like, And I wanna come bring that back to the table and say, hey, we need these services, we need these concerns. I live in a district, and you talk about crime rate, I'm of that crime rate, right? Not because I'm a victim, and I have been a victim, but because that community doesn't get the same attention that other districts get, I think, and I wanna bring back that voice. That voice to let people know that we are here. We do have constituents and citizens who wanna be heard and seen. When I went out into the community, that's what I saw. I saw people saying, hey, it's the first time I seen somebody come to my door and ask for my vote. I want to ask for their vote. I want to ask for their attention. And so when we talk about why we're here, I'm only here to bring back that good old common sense politics. Do what you said you're going to do and do it consistently and be transparent doing it.
Thanks, Commissioner. Appreciate it so much. Moving along back to this end of the room, running for mayor is Marcel Baker.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Marcel Baker. I would like to give God the glory before we start. So much to be thankful for. Listen, we have a chance to get it right. Born and raised here in Americus, Georgia. Joined the military. Jumping out of airplanes, got hurt. Retired in 2012. Got married in 2012. My beautiful wife, I call her my forever me. She's here today. And my two kids, Simon and Sawyer, 10 and 8. Listen, I ran in 2021. Me and Jay Terry. Shout out to Jay Terry. He's a trendsetter. Because that young man, it didn't take him long to figure out this city needed help. I ran too, and I was like, wow. When I got back in 2016, it didn't take me long to realize this city needs help. And so I jumped in, and what I realized is there's a disconnect between the government and the citizens, a real disconnect. I'm here to bridge the gap. It's the same way when I ran in 2021 against Lee Kinnaman and Terry, I was the middle, bridge the gap. Same way now with Barry Blunt and Travis Rush, I'm the middle. I'm old enough to respect the elders and still young enough to get out here with the kids. I believe in education, and I believe Americus is the leading city of the South. We gotta look like we're trying, and at this moment we look like we're dying. So anyway, I'm here to resuscitate the city and to bond the city, to bond unity, to get together and drive for it. My value, I use what I have to get what I want. And I learned that from the military. And we have what we have, and we can get where we need to go because we have each other. Thank you.
Miss Kathleen
Debate. Hi. I'm probably going to read because I'm a little nervous. I'm one of those new people who stepped into the ring out of concern and compassion for our community. So again, thank you, Valerie, for having us and for all the people involved in this. Fantastic. I love it. Definitely nervous, but this is a good nervous. Like I said, I'm new to the community, and I'm not just invested in the property or our policies, but in the people here. I moved to this neighborhood just a few years ago, and I've seen a pretty big disconnect between where I live and the same district that I'm in. I think that's one of the main reasons from the streets that I've seen, repairs that need to be done, help from going to meetings, disconnect between the people in my district and the council that sat up here at meetings that I was attending. I was very concerned about the total not even listening to us at all. So that's why I decided to run. My main purpose is partnering with the schools. I know Alexis mentioned that. And that was part of my platform is that reading skills here are need help and mentorship. I believe we need those things definitely. And I'd like to guiding principles would be fairness, transparency, and accountability. Fairness means every neighborhood deserves the same level of care and investment, which I'm not seeing happening. Just as in District 5, it's same in District 4, it's just streets in District 4. Transparency means decisions are made in the open, not behind closed doors. Accountability means promises are made, results followed, and residents can see proof. I'd like to have, absolutely have some kind of website, group information that people can go and look for and prove what's going on and see where it's going on, because there's just too much that's not being told and too much, sorry.
All right, thank you. Moving ahead, Christopher. Go ahead. Christopher Levi.
All right, those don't let me run over here. I can't see you.
I got you.
Time, but I'm Chris Bowden. Born here in the Old Suffolk Regional Hospital. Lived here all my life. Spent 28 years starting and operating my construction company here. Most of the profits I've made from that, I've reinvested in Americus, buying houses and fixing up houses and buildings. So I'm part of Americus. I was here in 1994 when we went through the flood. I was here in 2007 when we went through the tornado. So I've seen how good Americus can be. I've seen when everybody comes together to solve our problems. I've seen the good in our community. But what I've seen in the last couple of years is our community getting worse. I've seen the crumbling infrastructure, and I've seen the high crime, and I'm ready to try to do something about it. I believe that if we can solve the infrastructure and crime problems, then that'll lead to a better atmosphere for more businesses to come here, which will lead to better jobs for the people in our community, which will increase their standard of living for the citizens here in Americus. How will we solve that? I think our infrastructure problems need to be solved by prioritizing the most important things and starting to work on them. When I ride around here in Americus and I see city workers out here digging in flower beds while there's potholes in the streets, I think our priorities might be wrong. As far as the crime here, I believe we've got to have more officers. Our police department's half-staffed. I believe if we have a fully staffed police department, that'll equate out to roughly twice the officers we have now, which should turn into about half the crime that we have now. I believe if we get those things right, we'll create the right atmosphere to change Americus. The reason I'm running for office is I believe I can do a better job. I believe I can do a better job as city council than what's been done by my opponent. I know how to show up on time and be where I'm supposed to be. I know I've got a lot of experience and knowledge in the construction and infrastructure of this town.
Is that time? Oh, I'm sorry.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little bit more in depth. Now that we know who you are. Well, let's start with Nicole. You're right on time.
Yes, sir.
Nicole Smith, representing District 3. We started off with introductions, so could you please introduce yourself? Let us know who you are, why you're running, and what value or perspective you bring to this.
Good evening. Thank you all for being here. My name is Nicole Smith. I am the District 3 City Council, and I am running again to continue to do the work that we're doing in this great city. First, I would like to apologize because I do know where to be and when to be on time, but I am the only child who is caring for my father who has cancer, who fell sick at 3 o'clock this morning. It is my duty to see about my father, so I took care of him, and as soon as I got him stable, I made my way from Albany, Georgia, to be here with you all. So I am running to continue the work that we are doing. Yes, we do have some things that need to be modified, adjusted, but we're on the right road. I think transparency is what we need. We can't grow our city by tearing each other down. It just won't work. That will keep us where we are. So we're going to have to unify, keep doing what we're doing as a unified body to continue to move this city, this great city of Americus forward.
Thank you, Nicole. Thank you for your resilience and for being here. Let's move a little deeper into some of the issues that were brought up around infrastructure and systems of delivering services in our community. And the question is, what is your vision for small business growth and new jobs in America? I'm going to repeat it. What is your vision for small business growth and new jobs in Americus, and I was start with our mayoral candidates. I'm gonna start with Rush.
I'm so used to going second or last in all the other forums, but I guess the last shall be first, huh? Great question, Mr. Saps, and I kind of released a little bit of the platform this morning. What I envision is, everyone has watched on television the Shark Tank, and I believe Americans need an America's Tank. And what we do is we put a platform out to the citizens here because I've seen homes, businesses, I've seen small businesses, dreams of our citizens that are trying to make a difference in some form of having a business. And I believe we can get our investors together, we can get our leaders together for this city, and we allow you to pitch your dream to us. We allow you to pitch your idea. And the winner of that can get an opportunity, because you know, we talk about those vacant buildings downtown, y'all know those ones that ran down. I think if we can put some revenue into those buildings and get them back right, so that our small business owners don't have to kind of rent a building and then have to put in thousands of dollars to get it up to code. You know, we put them behind the 8 ball before they even start. But if we can, as a city, put that initiative together to hear you as a citizen that has the desire to start a business here in Americus, and we give you $1 rent for a year. We help you with your package to apply for funding. We use the SBA to kind of strengthen your business ideas, to allow you to grow your dreams right here in Americus. And because of that, we'll create small business impact immediately, and we'll take that beautiful downtown and make it inclusive, where everybody feel like they're part of downtown. And then that's how we're going to drive economic development quickly right here in Americus, utilizing the building that we already have. We don't have to start nothing new, but we got to get it up to code first. And then we can project our future to be able to move forward with their dreams and driving small business impact right here in Sumter County. And it's all done with what we got right in Americus. Because we got the banks, we got the people, we got the dream, and we got the building. So hey, let's put it together, let's bring America's Tank, and let's move forward with our economic development. Thank you.
Phil, your vision for small business growth and jobs in this community.
Yes, sir, thank you. I plan on bringing a veteran presence here that also incentivize small businesses to hire veterans, which will in fact benefit the city itself. My question was, I've been around a lot of places and I see how they operate, and I'll be honest with you, not doing it right. The water company is occupying that bank. That bank got rooms in it. Anywhere I go, those rooms will be offices that you could be in. You would have a number on it where your mail could come downstairs and you could pick it up. You would have a bunch of offices. You got a 3-story building, and the water company came out of a 1-story building over there by Rose. So we got a problem here. We're not using our buildings right. It's almost like we keep opportunity away from the people. Because I tell you, you're making more money cooking out your house and doing working on cars in your yard than a commercial license plate. So we have to get you certified and out here in the bright light. So so we thank you. So that's my vision, is to bring more businesses, to use the veteran credits, and to ensure everyone is treated right. All right.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
We're ready to start. How you doing? Understanding that the mayor and the city council have a combined responsibility to bring changes and growth into our community. No one single person or entity can do that. It takes the collective vote of the majority of this rostrum right here in order to make it work. Realizing that, what is your vision for growth in jobs and businesses in our community?
Well, thanks for the question. I think first of all, we got to meet these owners where they are. Several years ago, when I was in council, we went to State Road, Georgia. We realized that they were utilizing an authority that we didn't have. We had it right now, we're not utilizing it well. It's called the Land Bank Authority. I brought that to us. I came back, we all went to that meeting, but it wasn't a big deal to some members of council and mayor. But when you go to those kind of collaboration in cities, you learn a lot what they're doing, that they're doing effectively. But they were doing with this. They were buying all the habitat lands. And they was holding that land, renovating it for business owners to come or get those tax breaks to draw those entities in. we got a lot of property in this city and this county. So it don't matter, we can collab with the commissioners, we can collab with our own city. We got an opportunity to do something different. So we talk about small business, to me, I look at it from a point of view, what are we doing to help them with information? What are we doing as a bureau of council to go to other cities and realize that it's better ways to do a lot of different things? So I look at it as a collaboration point of view, giving them the information they need. We just got a grant approved for Southside to renovate some things over that way. But those grants and those opportunities are available. I think that we feel that in this city, we don't tell all the same information. We don't talk to everybody and within the communication of information. Because this is not on new information, information does not share at all. So now when I think about that, I think about what I think we can do as a whole, try to make sure that we give the right information to those individuals to help them out. And also, I think I got to look at the time. But to address small business, also got to address the crime. We got to address the education. People don't want to come to a city that have these issues. We talk about bringing those businesses in, that is deal with some other issues that we have right now to motivate those small businesses to say, hey, I'm coming to an environment that thrive in education to raise my kids in. Also, I can feel safe in this community. So you got to bring that to the table.
Thank you so much. Christopher, your vision for business and employment in our area, even if it's not in your ward or in your district, realizing that it's going to take a vote from the council. What's your vision? What's your dream for bringing jobs and business to your community? It's you, Christopher. It's yours.
Well, I think the problem with businesses, getting businesses here, goes back to our crime and infrastructure. I've got clients now that moved here 6.5 years ago with millions of dollars to invest in ideas for businesses, and they're selling everything and leaving now because they're tired of the cars being broke into, and they're tired of having to deal with the infrastructure problems here. So I think until we address those problems, we've got we're not going to get anywhere. You can get the best people you want, try to sell something, but if it's not working and it doesn't have the infrastructure and the crime's not low, it's hard to get people to come here.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's move over to Kathleen. Your vision, jobs, businesses, realizing that you're in a certain district, but you need the entire cooperation of the council. What's your vision?
My vision would be to start with not just the downtown area, but I see it as, there are so many businesses that we have already here. And I think bringing new businesses in at this moment is not feasible. We don't have the housing for new employees to come to the area. We don't have the infrastructure for those houses to be built at this time. So I think we need to have a plan. I know there's a rezoning plan, but I think we need a building plan for like the next 2, 5, 10, 15, 20 years. I'm sure there's something, but I think it needs to be updated because some of the plans I've seen are pretty outdated. And I think that our focus should be on the businesses that are here already and making those stronger and making those succeed. I think that we have, the buildings downtown, absolutely they need to be restored. We also have limitations because of the historical preservation. I think that that's one of the things that I would like to see changed is to have a uniform code that is approved with the federal, but allows for preservation, but with progress. Windows, updates, why do we have to have, white oak trims when we can have resin trims that are longer lasting and more efficient and energy efficient for our homeowners and our business owners. They don't want to fix these buildings because they're hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it's unnecessary that as long as it looks good and looks the same, I think that should be allowed. I think that that's something that the council needs to revise and fix. The other issue I think would be getting people who have home businesses licensed and in places where they can thrive. There's things like iStudios where you have bigger openings and little rooms, everybody has their own little studio. I think the community in America should have an iStudio of their own and let people rent, just like Travis said.
Thank you, Kathleen. Nicole, your vision, jobs, business, you already experienced what it's like to work in a collaborative. What's your vision for bringing jobs and business?
My vision for helping to bring more jobs, more businesses, is first continue to support what we have. We have great businesses already here. I think we should, we could do better about how we get our information as far as our DCA grants and just bringing us up to the 2025 era where we use all kind of communications, but let it be collectively and cohesive. Because everybody doesn't read the newspaper and everybody doesn't just do social media. So that we utilize all of our avenues so that everyone can know, because there are grants that we receive to our city that we sometimes have to send back because we can't get them out. And I think that's because of misinformation. They just don't know. So I think if we do a better job of partnering with our citizens, making sure we get collective information out, making sure that they know what we have here available in our city, and support our city. First priorities, the things that we do, let's get out and support it. And I think that will strengthen what we have, and it will help them to expand to be bigger and better. And that's what I do. That is my vision.
Thank you so much. We'll rapid flow, and I know my system is going to be stuck with that. I might break it in a minute, because I know how about that is, how important it is. But I got a couple of other hot topics here. Let's move to the city services and safety, because I've heard that be mentioned quite a bit. How will you ensure strong city services like clean water, safe streets, and responsive police? I'm going to say it again. How will you ensure strong city services like clean water, safe streets, and responsive police and fire, which I think you will touch in your experience? I'm going to start with Christian.
I believe we can solve those problems by holding the people accountable. The city council really only holds 3 people accountable right now: the city judge, the city attorney, and the city manager. And when you've got a city manager and things aren't getting done, that's the only person that the city council can hold responsible for it. So there's got to be accountability to that city manager position and the department heads to make sure things are done and completed.
Thank you, sir. Marcel.
Yes, sir.
It's on you.
All right. Repeat that question one more time.
Okay, I'll be over. How will you ensure strong city service like clean water, like safe streets, and responsive police and fire officials? Responsive. How you gonna make that work?
Yeah, I back Owen on that one. Accountability, making sure that each department is held accountable for their actions. I got a team that's well trained and they're willing to listen. So real leaders are followers. And so I would listen to my team and see what's all options on the table as far as judging the performance of each section. So that's my answer.
Thanks, Marcel.
Thank
you. Travis, same question. Want to repeat the question? How, you got it.
Yeah. So as mayor, our key focus is making sure that our city council members are working together, that we have oversight in the necessary departments as well as into our city manager or city administrator. But first of all, the council got to get on one accord. We got to make sure that the priorities, the main thing is the main thing, and that we're being transparent and accountable for the decisions that we're making sitting here as council. We want to make sure infrastructure is being addressed. One of our biggest key things and most important things right now to address those 3 questions that Mr. South brought up is we got to make sure we're hiring the right candidates. We got to make sure that we're not cycling city managers or city administrators. We're not cycling finance directors. We got to also make sure our department heads are empowered to drive change and hold their employees accountable. That's where the city manager and the mayor of the council has to put priority to make sure we got the right people doing the right thing at the right time. And by that, we'll create a stronger infrastructure. We'll have safer streets, And most of all, I put it back to the citizens because we also own this. Because a lot of the phone calls that are coming into the 911 center that are taking up our resources, a lot of it is stuff that we could have handled without involving our police officers. And we're tying up those resources, so when it's time for an important call, guess what? They're balancing something about my child won't go to school, when they need to be trying to solve a crime. So we gotta take some ownership and also make sure that that education pieces are out there if we're going to support it. That's where council has to come together and make sure our messaging is strong and that we have that transparency in place. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Nicole, ensure strong city services like clean water, safe streets, and responsive police and fire.
Yes, I think how we will do that is first, if our citizens don't know, as a citizens, the council body is only responsible, there's only one person that reports to the city council. There's only one person, and that is the city manager. So we have a city manager form of government. So what that means to me is we have to make sure that the person that we employ, that reports to us, is held accountable. And we hold ourselves accountable to make sure we ensure that we have the support for that city manager, for our teams, which is our department heads, to work effectively in their department. A lot of our safer streets come from, I think we need to implement, reach out with our resources that we have. Mental health is a big issue in our city. So a lot of our calls, it's not that our officer can't handle them, they're being tied up with other issues that are not pertaining to directly what they're out there for. So I think we need to really look into what we have, and that's called partnership, a greater, stronger Americus, working together with our resources, like our mental health entities, so we can meet the need together. So our safe water, EPD, we gotta make sure that we stay on top of our people that we work with to make sure our water is being tested correctly. Make sure we have funding, because that's a fee. All of it works together. So I think those things, safer streets, our great water, quicker response, come from partnering and being factual with what we have.
All right, that was
The safer streets, I'll start with. I think that we need community involvement. We need neighborhood watches, people to help. I don't think, I've heard more cameras would help. I think having the properly funded and amount of police officers would help. Not so much for strong arming, but for monitoring. I think that if you have a presence known and that if the police are involved in the community and can be more community active. There was a town in New Jersey, Camden, and the police started doing that, and it was and improved over time. Their crime rates and murder rates went down. Police involvement in a positive light would be, I think, phenomenal, and I think that right now there's a lot of mistrust and concern about that. And I mean, I know I have those concerns also. So I think that would help a lot. As far as response time, I think it's the amount of officers we have and what they're addressing. Mental health is definitely an issue. And being that the council has the city manager position, and that's how it's run here, I think that there are some changes that need to be made in how our structure of government works. I see things as there's no accountability. There's just, it's not working right, the way we have it set up right now. And I know the administrator was done before, that might not be the answer, but maybe we need a modified information. City council being part-time, I feel is not appropriate. Also the mayor being part-time. They're part-time positions, they're not full-time, they're not invested 100%, they have jobs. We have other people have jobs. I think that it should be 100% investment in our community. And I don't see that happening right now. As far as the clean water, infrastructure, the water bills, people getting $1,000 water bills and not getting help and assistance because of broken pipes, and that's on the owners of the rentals, and they're not being held accountable also. So I think that's something we need to address.
Okay, thank you, Kathleen.
It's very simple. Have the best and the brightest. You talk about water, large format, safe services, you have the best and the brightest. Which is said for me about part-time positions. These are part-time positions. the key to government, what I've seen and what I've been a part of, we hired the best and the brightest, because you know, like council members and mayors are all made up of average people. You know, they be educated, they be plumbers, they be business owners. They're not the best and the brightest. It's just elected officials trying to oversee what the government, the city needs. But when it comes down to making those decisions, you got to have the best and the brightest. So how you buddies and your friends, your neighbors, how the best and the brightest, what control crime rate, how somebody who's investing in your city, your culture. You want to control whether you got safe and clean water. How the department head that govern that? I'm gonna think about what Nicole said. She's on the city manager government. I was on the chief administrator government. I think we need to bring back chief administrator. I'll tell you why. Once you make a city manager the overseer of our department head, you then limit his or her power. So what happens then is that person goes into a politics stage. They're scared to make a decision because they're saying, well, if I make a decision and the mayor don't agree with it, or certain council members don't agree with it, so you put them out of statute because they're playing politics. Put the power back into the mayor and council hand and let them live and die by the decision. When I was in government, we ran our own department head. We was the board that said, well, high five, we listen to appeals. You put that energy back into the power that need to be. We are elected officials. I said, man, I don't need to be worried about whether they keep their job or not because they make a bad decision and hire the wrong person. And you need to have somebody that say, hey, I want to hold that mayor accountable for that bad decision. I want to hold that councilman for that bad decision. So a chief administrator is what we need to go back to, put the power back into the mayor and council hand, and then you'll make better decisions over those departments. Right now, we just run around in circles trying to figure it out because everybody's playing politics instead of worrying about people.
Y'all learning? Good. So let's move along. Let's talk about our human capital and our future, okay? And let's talk about youth and families. So what should Americus do to keep young people engaged and build opportunities for our next generation? I'm gonna start with you, Levi.
Well, as I said earlier, I work with young people my entire career. So you got to meet them where they are. The reason why my kids didn't stay and the more kids don't leave here because you don't have no job opportunity. We're not creating no job. We playing patch. We lose one game in one system. So when you talk about, you know, how can we bring that human aspects back to our community, we got to be innovative at this point of government. How do we have those programs and those educational services to get these young people started to stay in the community, see a growth pattern, say, I can create something, I can get opportunity with jobs and loans and things of that nature. We don't have a conversation, we don't have connections to get there, we don't have influence to get those things we're talking about. So when I look at the youth here and I see why they're leaving, I know why they're leaving. You know, because it's no real opportunity to make those entities stay. So, what's the next question we had? I was on the youth part.
Yeah. Well, actually, it was what opportunities do you think we need to create to maintain and to keep that young, brilliant energy in America?
Carlton Reed has a program. I got it written down somewhere. It's a program that's dealing with that community involvement. You're talking about a perfect union. They got a word, perfect union. And that program is one of the programs I feel like they're going to bring us together as a community because it brings so many entities together, it brings small businesses together, it brings government together, it brings youth together, it brings education together. I think we got to have more programs like that to get everybody involved and go to those communities to get those entities talking about involved. I was on, back in the housing authority, we had a program that sent us to Stone Mountain as a low-income family. First time I ever lived in Georgia, I went to Atlanta, into the mountains, and ride to the student across Americus, across Georgia. Those programs gave you a sense of feeling that you belong, you understood that there's more issues going on in other cities outside of mine, but you actually had an opportunity to collaborate, to learn different things, different things. I was doing things that I've never seen before. The program there,
That's okay.
good time at there. Go ahead.
That's all right. Thank you, sir. Y'all get that. Same question myself. How do we engage the people and the families in this community in a notion that will develop our young people's potential and make it pleasant and desirable for them to want to stay?
say, where you been? What were you doing? And I say, where you been? What were you doing? I suggest we use the Jimmy Carter Public Airport so we can get these college educated people that we have here now out of here to better jobs, so that we can grow, because the glass ceiling is too low here. I'm seeing educated people taking pay cuts just to hold their job, to pay their family. You done closed Davis and you done closed, you combined schools, you lost hundreds of jobs. And now we fight each other over single positions, shame. And our kids see it. So you're consolidating, we're consolidating ourselves here. And so we're looking bad. So the best thing we need to do is show them progress here. We got 8 programs at Georgia Southwestern, 200 at the tech school. Look what jobs we have for them. For you. Remember, you stayed here 16 years. We're here now. I'm here now. What did you do? Who fooled you? Who misled you? Levi's now. Thank you.
Rush, what's your vision, what's your thoughts about engaging people in this community in opportunities for our next generation? How intentional can we be?
Very good question, and I love the response from our former councilman Johnson on the initiative that we can, and the approach that we can take. But what I'd like to see immediately, not something that we gotta wait on, we gotta increase our accessibility of city council with our youth. They need to be able to reach and touch us. They need to be able to see us. They need not just to see us on Facebook, but they need to be able to have dialogue. And we, as council mayor, has to be open to hear, not to take them back to 1883, but to bring them where they're at today in 2025, and allow our young people to be who they are, and let them know that we support them, we stand behind them. I'm a product of this city where I was able to reach a very high milestone in my life. But guess how I got there? I had city council, I had a mayor, I had citizens, and I had parents who believed in me. They believed in my dream, what I want to do, and nothing stopped them. Whether it was the school system giving me $50 for gas to drive from Thomasville on a Friday night to Winter Haven, Florida to compete, whether it was the city coming together to support when I did sign my professional contract, they believed in my dream. They didn't force me to follow a certain path, but they took what I wanted to and they gave that accessibility for that. And one of the biggest things that I want to make sure is that as mayor and city councils, that we meet our young people where they at and make sure that they feel that they belong and that they have a sense of ownership in this community. And we have to make sure that we foster that relationship, that our young people can take ownership. Because you know what? You know why they're leaving? Because they don't feel like they're part of the solution. They don't feel like they're empowered to make solutions. You know, because they say, hey, they're going to do what they want to do anyway. Right. Let's be real. Thank you.
Thank you. Nicole, same question.
First of all, I would encourage us as an entire community to don't give up. We can't give up on our children because they're not what we were. We grew up in a different era, we did stuff just a little bit different, but they're still our children, all of them. And one thing that I vowed to do as council, and I plan to continue to do when re-elected, is to reach out to youth. Our partner, we have a thing called honorary council members here on the council, that each council can bring a person to be an honorary council member throughout the year, different months throughout the year. And every time I'm asked to bring a council, I reach out to Georgia Southwestern to get a student. Because they can interact, they can see what we are doing here. They can get a feel of what we are doing here. We have the adults here, they show up. We gotta go get our youth. They're not coming, and I've heard it several times up here. We have to meet them, we have to reach out to them. And that's what I've been doing, reaching out to them, to get them involved, to show them how easy, show them that we care, show them that we want their voice, show them that we want to hear their voice and they will be heard. And I think that's what we can do to keep our generation. We got to get them back involved. And it's gonna take us reaching out to them. They're not coming to us.
Thanks, Nicole.
My first step would be to hire a social media director or have interns from the community that would come in and work with us on a rotating basis for college credits. I believe we need a lot of kids involved, and it's not just the high school or the college. I think we need to start in elementary school. I think we should have mock trials, mock Levi debates. I grew up with those, and I think they're great. They would get people involved in our community, and I think that would help a lot, and have people see how government works. I think civics, I've heard someone say, when I was walking around over the Unity Festival, like, kids didn't even know what the word civics meant. And I was like, I understand that. It's not, our government is not taught the way it had been in the past. Kids today are different. They have social media, they have computer games, they have online games. It's a totally different atmosphere than when my children grew up in the 90s and early 2000s. So I think that the council and the communities all need to understand that times are different now, and that we need to meet people where they need to be at and accept the way they are and the way they need to be. That I think is one of the most important, in increasing our reading schedules and their scores would be a start. But beyond that, what are they reading? What are we educating on? And I think that's where we need to focus if we want them involved in the communities and to stay in the community. You're not going to stay or care if you have a job if you're not going to be able to support a family. And I think that showing people, just like Lorenzo mentioned, there's a bigger worldview than just what you have in your few streets, blocks. Getting out and seeing different things, missions trips, different churches we've gone on, like kids and mission trips. You learn a lot going to other parts of the country, other parts of the world. And I think that those are all things that the community can support each other in through our church communities that we have. So such a vibrant church community here, it's phenomenal.
Thank you. So, we talk about young people, the city services, infrastructure. You can't leave out our seniors. Our seniors are at the twilight of their years, and it should be the highlight of their years. Your opinions or suggestions on how we better serve, or how important it is to serve our seniors. And I'm going to start with you, Lorenzo.
Thank you. I'm going to ask you something. When I was on council in 2006, 2014, we brought the first residential single home for seniors in the city. Creek Room Commons on Magnolia Street. I fought hard for that development. When it first came up, we were denied. We had to wait several years later to that same development come back. But seniors are who we are right now. All of the majority on this council are against that age, and we're gonna need those resources and those the comfort to know that this community respects and understand that we still a pillar of this community. So I respect those seniors and seniors that come to me and myself to have a voice and be heard as well. So often I think we talk about the youth, and that rightfully so, but we miss out on all that wisdom and conversations, and we're not going to those neighborhoods and talking to those people who can't always get up and come to these kind of settings. So you got to get more involved. You got to go out and touch those seniors and see what they want as well. So when I talk about low-income housing, people say, don't say that word, say it from home. Tomato, the same thing. But we know most of these seniors on fixed income, and they don't have those funds to be able to get those neighborhoods or that living environment to feel comfortable. Right. I hear when I go around and talk to seniors here, they don't feel safe. When they can't sit on their porch and do what seniors been doing for the last hundreds of years, they sit on their porch and drink tea or lemonade. That's terrible. So I want to bring back that respect toward those seniors by building developments that will help them and treat them as they should be deserved. Respect and dignity on their last years, their last days on this earth, be a part of that conversation.
So we all agree that the seniors should be at the highlight while they're in the twilight of their years, is that right? So I'm gonna ask Rush, what's your thoughts on seniors and the services and what they deserve as they go into the twilight of their years?
Absolutely. And for a moment, I'm gonna speak from my position as your incoming mayor, not so much from a council perspective, but I believe that, as Johnson mentioned, we gotta be visible. We gotta show that we care about our seniors. I took time out of my day, yesterday just to go to, one of our senior adult centers and just to spend time. Just so that they can see a body who cares. Oftentimes, a lot of our seniors, when they get in their latter days, they're pushed aside because of the ways of the world is so busy and people just don't want to deal with them. And I think as a mayor, as the face figure, while our council is working, the mayor should be there, being visible, showing, having a conversation, supporting our seniors. So I say, hey, let's increase collaboration with like the Innovative Senior Solution Day Center. Let's create opportunities where our seniors can go to a gymnasium, a wellness center where they can exercise, where they can keep the activities of their lives safely. Let's increase, the opportunity for discounts, where our seniors are not having to spend out all their little retirement money or their Social Security benefits on the inflation that we're seeing in our city. Those are things that we can do as a city, as a caring citizen for our seniors to let them know that they do still matter. And a lot of it, our solution is just show that we care. Just show that they matter. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Same question, Christopher. What do you think we do? How do we serve our seniors in such a way that they feel respected and still needed in our community?
Well, most of the seniors I've talked to, their number one problem is crime. Same as it is for a lot of people here. I think Americus offers a lot for the seniors. We have a lot of those, like the senior solutions, the Magnolia Matter. We have a lot of, Americus is a good place to grow old. I'm sure we can make some improvements on things. I've heard some good ideas here. But honestly, it's not something I've thought a whole lot about. So,
Very good. That's honest. Nicole, what you gonna do for the old folks? Because we here.
For me, it's in my decision making. When we're voting on the trash bill, when we're voting on these electric bills, I think making a sound decision that will affect you collectively means a lot for our seniors who are on fixed income. I also think having a great relationship with our higher-ups, our state representatives, that they can hear our voice because they need to know what we do locally. I think that collaboration with our state government, also our state representative, our congressmen, knowing that they hear us, they work for us, we work together. So knowing that they know the needs of our local community, I think that means a lot. That keeps our citizens at the forefront, knowing that we care about them, that we're making sure that we do all we can for them. And I just.
Thanks, Nicole.
Well, I guess I entered the senior this year, I turned 60, and get my Social Security, so I'm on a fixed income also. So, just looking at our bills and cost of living right now, our electric bills doubled since last year. I literally just pulled the stats about 3 days ago. We had over double a jump in our electric bill. Same usage basically, just the rates doubled. So it's hard. We're all on fixed incomes and we're not getting, and it's not getting any better. It's not going to go down. So what can we do there? I think that we have a great senior amount of people who live here, and they're very educated, very involved, and want to be a part of a community also. So can we partner that maybe with a daycare and have them come in and reach children and help with these after-school programs? Partnering with our seniors and our younger children in the schools and having programs I think would help a lot. A lot of parents are working, they don't have time. They're busy, they're struggling. running at both ends, trying to keep jobs and keep our children fed, and they're trying to keep their houses going and fix things, and I think it's partnering and resourcing and volunteering and setting up programs through the churches, through the community, that maybe we can have help that way. And if there's, jobs that we had for some of the seniors to get a little extra income, I think that would be helpful. I think there's a lot of opportunity, but I think the biggest thing is if it's safety, that we need to increase our police in the amount that we have. And I've mentioned this before, but I think that the people that they're hiring need to be better, higher quality of education, not just a high school diploma. I think they need to be college graduates.
Thank you, Catherine. Now, my question for one is that all of you know that you will not be on the aisle. You will be in a position where you have to work together to be able to bring forth some of the solutions that you're all expressing. And I hear great opinions. But what I'd like to hear is, knowing that nothing can be done unless the majority of you work together and partner in this community on initiatives, I'd like to get a feel for what your process is, what your thinking is on how you begin to get involved with an initiative, and how you work that initiative through the partnerships to where it needs to go, so that we now have something of a new initiative that we're presenting to our city. You understand what I'm asking?
No.
What is the process that you will employ to change and to bring change to the city through the issues that you think are important? Is it just you saying it? Is it just you working on it? And if it's you working on it, what are those steps that you will employ to make a difference once you become a mayor or a council person? Does that make sense?
Okay.
I'm gonna start with Mayor Rush. Running for mayor, Rush.
That's a very good question, and every citizen should be concerned about that. When you go to the polls and vote, because we need to look at it as I'm choosing, going down my ballot, who do I have access to? Who can I call and they're gonna answer? If I need, are they gonna show up? Who in my council district, who's that at the mayor? So what do I envision as mayor, having to work with a very diverse council that sometimes have their differences? It's very simple, y'all. It's very simple. And it's called build relationship. Because before you can influence anyone on making a decision, you first gotta have a relationship with them. And so it's my goal and my passion is to work with our council to have a working relationship with them. That we can agree to disagree, but we also can agree that each voice matters for the betterment of the citizens of this great city. And so by building relationships, then we can bring influence. And then our influence can bring the change. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And running for mayor, Marcel Baker.
Hey, that's your next mayor, Marcel Baker. Listen.
You got it.
No, go ahead, God.
No, wait.
No.
Your
Sorry.
opinion on how you will be a change agent in that process of bringing new initiatives to your body and to your colleagues to get approved. Because that process is not just something that you say,
Sure.
it's something that you got to work at. So give me a feel for how you approach those issues and all of that challenge to bring those new initiatives that we're all talking about that we want to see.
Well, just like the military, you accomplish the mission, you have a team, you have to get on the same page. Sacrifice it. You use me, I use you, to use each other to get what we want. That's the name of the game. All we have is each other here. The city council, we have to get on one vision, just like your football team here. The people are the coach. The quarterback is the council. All right, and the mayor, the mascot. Okay, I want to be able to say we turn it up in Americus, Georgia. I want to flip and do some cheerleading moves too, with my game. So yeah, that's what we do. We hang out with each other. We blend together. Unity. we can do it. We all know each other, know each other's family. America's too small not to have the right way to do it. Best thing.
Thank you, sir. Same question, Christopher. How will you bring the Christopher juice into the process to be able to influence those who need to be influenced, including the community, to bring your initiative to fruition?
Well, I think as, everybody on the council and everybody in the community has unique perspectives and unique experiences in everything we have to deal with. And I think as a whole, we'll make better decisions collectively. And I think that's the key to getting the best results in the end, is all of us together, working together to get a good outcome. Because we all have the same wants. We all want to be happy, we all want to be successful. It's just a matter of how do we get there. And I think as a whole, if we all work together, we'll do a better job of getting there quicker.
Cool. Thank you, good job.
What I will do is to continue to do what's right for all the citizens. And when I say what's right, that is making sound decisions, listening to my constituents, because we do live in a democracy. We all have different opinions, but listening, being able to listen, hear their side, because we don't all think alike, but being able also to work together. I think that that's gonna keep us going. I think we're doing that now. Everybody on the council that's currently sitting, we want the one thing we have in common, what is best for this entire city. And that's what I would continue to do. Do what's right by wanting what's best for every citizen here in Americus.
Good answer. Thank you so much. Kathleen?
First of all, I think that's honestly not an easy thing to do, because there's two sides to every story, and then there's what's gonna happen in the middle. There's always opposing and views for something that I would want, and does that mean necessarily that I should vote what I want? No, I would want to vote what the majority of Americus wants, not just my district. And I haven't seen that happening on the council. When I was here doing the rezoning, and there was a plethora of us coming in talking about not wanting rezoning to happen, all of our voices were ignored by the rest of the council, except for our district leader. And it was very disheartening. And I felt that on the negative side, of course. Does it mean it was the right decision? I won't know, we won't know. But I feel that, all the council needs to be a part of the community. I think we should be at events, I think we should be mandatorily at First Fridays and speaking to our constituents and having people see us, and at our activities that we have in the community, visiting churches, visiting schools, for the kids to know what's going on. I think that those things need to be done on a regular basis. Honestly, you can't know your vote until you're ready to vote or the situation, but I think that listening to the whole community, not just my district, would be the number one.
Thank you. Marina, so how do you advocate and then legislate? Same question.
I feel that sometimes it can be uncomfortable to get caught. When you're in a body, you're in council, your candidates or your council members come with their own ideology. So sometimes you're not gonna agree, but you gotta be able to have those tough conversations and weed out the differences. So my idea is to come in and collaborate, talk about those tough decisions, those differences, and see can we come together as one unit to do what's best. Usually when you're doing something right by all, it's not a hard conversation. It's when there's no hidden agendas that sometimes play a part in these districts, that when you have those uncomfortable and unnecessary conversations. Because to be honest with you, in a small town like this, you should be unanimous every time you vote. Because we got the same problem. No matter what side of town you're on, no matter what your income is, at the end of the day, you live in the same community with the same culture, with the same concerns. But usually when you got those tough decisions, it always come out, in my experience, be hidden agendas. So I'm willing to have those uncomfortable conversations to get comfortable. So if this council and mayor understands that, we're gonna get along. We're gonna get along, we're gonna do the right thing by all, because when you do the right thing by the least of us, the best of us all want.
So look, connected with that, because I'm getting some questions from the audience, when it comes to how you communicate, to community? What's your platform? What do you utilize as opportunities to let this wonderful community of you know what you plan on doing and how you plan to work? What platforms do you use to communicate to your own community? I'm gonna start with Marcel.
What do you mean by platform?
What opportunities to talk, to speak, to get the word out? Because you're gonna be wanting to have support from your community.
Sure.
You're gonna wanna socialize your ideas.
All right.
So how do you do that?
First thing you need to do is understand that most of you guys that's here are woke. The ones that we're fighting for ain't, okay, the poor. Stop using words like dilapidated. If you want these elders to get their houses fixed, here property, you know. I mean, what language are you using? That's what I mean by 85% to 93% of you guys here in American Georgia overqualified. You guys speak to each other on a different level. I'm here trying to express you guys. I'm here for you guys, but we have a bigger problem. As they say, the crime, where do you think that's coming from? The bottom. You got to reach out and connect. You got to bring the poor with you. The Bible said the poor be with you always. We have to take care of them in order to go up, to move forward. We have to bring them with them. So we have to connect, make better, have a better communication with find out what level they on anyway. I mean, even at the water company, elder, she was crying about a water bill. She couldn't really read it. Like, we have to take care of our elders. We have to take care of the poor. We have to reach out to them somehow. I don't know what the best way to do that, but that's my platform.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Kathleen, give me a hand. Communication is key. You know, understanding is key. Information is power. How do you plan on closing those gaps with this constituency who so direly need your help and want to be engaged? What do you do?
So the ones that want to be engaged, and they're going to show up. It's the ones that aren't engaged and don't know that they need to be. I think those are the people we need to reach. Knocking on doors, walking around, being at events, meeting people in their communities, going out and actually meeting people and knowing that there are people who are different than you and different situations than all of us. You know, I think that it's hard. It's not an easy thing to do, but I mean, social media does help. I have Facebook, I have, you know, TikTok. I understand all that, platforms, Instagram and all that, but they're not reaching the majority of the people. They're reaching the people who want to be reached. I had a gentleman offer to put a sign in his yard for me. He's never been involved in politics in 50 years. He lived here and he offered to put a sign in his yard for me, which I thought was amazing. And just reached out through, you know, hey, how's your day? What's going on? And I think just touching base with people and being involved in having it. I think it's not just one person, it's a team. The council's a team, the mayor's a team, the community's a team. And I think that we need a social, a newsletter that either gets mailed or emailed or whatever you want to have set up. I think that we need some kind of communication from the city to our residents on a, you know, once a month, if not every other week basis of what's going on in the community. And let those people know that they can be involved.
Good. Thank you so much, you guys. Yes,
Well, you know, social media playing a big part of communicating. With this new era of communication, so social media will always be a part of how I think is to get the message out to a certain degree. I think you got to bring back old school sometimes. Town hall meetings are very, very important within your district, within your community. But I believe in the common sense for politics. You know, if you see my campaign, you saw me on video going around campaigning because I understood the importance of you seeing my face. A lot of times people know your name, but don't know your face, and know your face, and know your name. So front porch politics, what you gotta do, you gotta go out there. I keep saying it, meet them where they are. For some reason, we got a big time, you know, show up and show out kind of community. So you gotta be a show and show out kind of councilman or a mayor. So I'm willing to do that at front porch politics. Also, we have these council meetings certain times of the month. People gotta get involved. I see Mr. Martin in the back right there. Mr. Martin would come to council meeting when I was here years ago, and he's one of these citizens who's very concerned about your community. So you got to be involved like Mr. Martin comes to these meetings. Also, let's not just do these round tables for elections. Give you the time to chicken jive and lie. You should be doing this all through the year, right? Sometimes we come to these events only because we're running for government, and we get to sit around and talk about what we're gonna do, we haven't did it in the last 4 years. So these events, you miss here all the time. Better Trace, and you also, Mr. Sam, have these events all the time, hold them council members very accountable. You see Sarah not here today, that's fine, I understand, I miss some myself. But at the end of the day, if you put these events together, then you don't have to wait till the 4 years and come out and say you for the people, you didn't do other things prior to that.
Appreciate you.
I truly believe in accessibility, because we have to know each other to move our city forward. And being accessible, everyone knows I have a city phone, but I give out my personal cell phone. Because if you need me, call me. If, and I'm gonna show up. I just think accessibility is key for the people in our community, because we're not so much of everybody doesn't do Facebook. They want people that they can reach out to and you move. That's the community that we live in, and that's what I believe will work for us. We must be a council that shows up.
Thank you.
The platforms, we gotta reach the people. I'm not gonna regurgitate, because I think I want to go before Johnson, because he has my notes down there, so he basically said what I was gonna say. We gotta get back to town hall meetings, we gotta get back to those neighborhood watch sessions, we gotta get back from a mayor, city council perspective, back into our communities. Our communities chose leaders to lead. They didn't choose us to sit up on a high voice on this platform, and it's the only time that they see us speaking on their behalf. They want to see us in the communities. And so, those platforms, I'm gonna say it like this. There's no big function, and then there's no small function. Just because town reporter's not here, don't mean that it's not important that the candidates show up. We gotta be people, leaders, that show up for the little things and not just a handshake really because it's babies. We got to lead by example, and we have to be engaged. So get back to those town hall meetings, get back engaged, walking in the streets. Let's not knock on the door just because it's that time of year. Let's knock on the door if you want to just sit down and have that porch conversation. That's how we bring change. That's how people feel like they're involved. And it's time that, I understand why we're not doing it, because when we do it, now you know what to hold us accountable for. So that's why we don't see it. But I ask you to be engaged, citizens, and hold your council responsible. Hold them accountable.
Good. So let's talk about another issue that's kind of common to all of us as families and as workers and just folks in families, transportation.
We're not a big city, we're a small town, but yet we're large enough that public transportation can become an issue. What do we do? How do we solve this problem in this dilemma of being not so big, but yet large enough that we need to get around? Any ideas, any perspectives of what we do in a small town, all small towns are dealing with this issue? How do you see that? What do we do? Give me some questions, some answers on that. I'm starting with you, Chris.
Well, I don't know what really the city offers for transportation other than the trolley that we have that runs around town here during our first Fridays and other events downtown. I know I usually walk around town. I regularly walk from center of town here back to my house and around on the south side of town. The condition of our sidewalks is poor, it needs repair. We got to address things like that in our infrastructure. But as far as transportation around here, I really don't, I'm up for ideas. Tell me what the problems are, we'll figure out how to fix them.
Okay. Let's go over to Nicole.
Here in the city of Americus, we do have government transportation. So we can't just, we can get it out, we can do all that, but we have to report to the state. So we have to collab, and there are certain regulations that we have to meet with our transportation system as a city. So that's why it's so important that our citizens are correctly informed so that they know that we do have transportation. There are parameters around that maybe we can work with them to get, their ideas better, but right now, that's what we're doing. We're working on, what we have and trying to better our transportation system here, because we do have it. And we have, where on our city buses, well, not city, but transportation buses, we have a card. If you're not getting, you feel like there are complaints or anything, and we get those. We get those now. We have, department that gets those questions, complaints, and they get them to us. So we do have it. We just, any ideas from our citizens that they feel that can help us, better that or, do more wide range of it. I know that the council is welcome to those ideas, but we have that.
Okay, thank you. Travis.
Yeah, Mr. Savage, so, yes, our council and our city is working very diligently trying to figure out the transportation situation. Is there a single piece, and I believe that, Councilman, Smith can say that, there's a lot of RFPs that have been put together by the city and they reached out. So how do we fix that? We gotta make sure that we are, marketing out these RFPs in a better way. I know just posting it on our website, saying that this is available for, a request for proposal to fit the need of transportation, that seems to be good. It goes to the newspaper. But we gotta also put efforts to really get it out there, because there's rideshare services. There are other avenues that we can make known to the citizens about transportation. Because it's detrimental when you got seniors who's trying to get to doctor's appointments, but if they don't call a day in advance, they don't get that ride. Or if they do call, the service shows up 30 minutes late. And if you guys know anything about hospital services, if you're not at prep on time, guess what? You may not have that service, or it's gonna get pushed back to the end of the line. So transportation is very important, and just basic getting to Walmart, just getting to the drugstore. So I think that the city has to take a better approach. I think that we can work together from mayor, city council to look at the full solution and make sure that we are communicating properly what those options are.
Thanks, Travis. Mayoral candidate Marcel, transportation.
Yeah, wait a second, and everyone else, listen, the city of Americus getting grief. That trolley, that candy paint they put on there, the tons that it weigh, or should I say the weight on these terrible roads, should be a priority. Here in Americus, we need to feed people. Rideshare, Lyft, government, more of you guys, small businesses. Listen, the Americans can't, Miller Fuller move Habitat for Humanity here for a reason. It's because in this small town, we have to help each other get to where we're gonna go. Okay, we can't really afford to rely on modern technology. We have to use each other. So we need jobs. If that's the problem around here, we don't have jobs. Let's put America's fight to work. Forget the city government, the city transportation, your transportation. I want to see you get paid. You have a W-2 form. You file taxes. That's not bad.
All right, thank you, Marcel. Lorenzo, transportation, sir.
Great job, great job, great job. I agree with, what he just said. But also, cut some of the fact, we have an annual budget meeting every year. Cole know it. You sit there at that meeting, you select those things that you're gonna try to pay for in that year economy. So, a lot of people don't transit, but you gotta cut that fact. We got a lot of employee cars that shouldn't be bought sometimes. We got all these department heads and leaders, got these take-home vehicles. You can use some of that money to buy these transit buses and also employ the people that do the work we talk about. We talk about not having enough transportation because you're not budgeting right. You gotta create the job, no doubt about it. There are a lot of people getting their own transportation, but when you can't do that, for those who can't get that transportation, you gotta make some good budgetary decisions. And that's just not being made. We got 20, just roll to get here, right? You roll past the listen building. You see all them cars out there selling out those staff room cars. They're being served, they're being contracted every year. Sometimes you gotta get to the city and say, hey, go ahead. You might use your own car now to pay your gas. We're gonna use this budget to buy some more transit buses. So it's not difficult. You gotta just find those clever ways to do things. And also go to them trainings and meetings that other cities have and find out what they're doing. We don't have to be the smartest government in the world. You got government right now, 7 sides, you're doing the same thing you need to do, and got more with bigger population, small population. Thank you, Don.
Thanks, Rizzo.
Yeah.
Kathleen, transportation in a small rural town, what you want to do?
I think that, so many great points brought up, but I think the number one is we don't need buses, we don't need big vans. I think we need, smaller, the rideshare size, but I think we should have it, centralized within a company that we contract out to that would be able to take our seniors to their appointments and pick them up. I mean, I didn't have a car for a year and a half here. It's rough. Walking, relying on friends, and you worry about, transporting people and insurances and being sued, and there's, multiple things there. So I think that we need to have it as a structured, insured means of transportation, but I think smaller, would be a way better way to work it.
Okay, thank you so much.
Good job.
One more issue before we do a lightning round is homeless. Now, I know this again, it's not a big city. And I know everybody in town got some grandma, somewhere to go. So they're not sleeping on crates, so to speak. But there is beginning to be a homeless again. How do we deal with homelessness in our city, in your opinion? Christopher, let me start with you.
I've seen firsthand some of the homelessness we've had here, the people that spent last winter in the post office. And a lot of those people, there's a homeless shelter here for them to go to, but they don't want to go there because they can't drink or use drugs there. I think they've got to start with some of those problems as a treatment program for those people. There's got to be something to get those people off of the streets and out of our public buildings. I don't really know what that answer is, but I'm open to suggestions from anybody that does.
Marcel, homelessness, and let me slant a little bit,
Okay.
it's kind of connected.
Yeah,
It's kind of connected.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying with elders and disability. All the same with elders and disability, all those things fall on mental health, your ability not to do things that you once did. Homelessness, we have a problem with homelessness here. Yes, we do. Most of them paying with SNAP benefits. I ain't laughing. That's sad. We really do have a problem here with homelessness. It started with pride. That's the thing. Pride, and I want to know why you're homeless. A lot of people have pride in America. That's the number one killer here. It ain't high blood pressure. Come off that high horse. I think if you need a place to stay, you need to go to the jail and ask them for a room and 3 meals because you paid for it. You all paid for it. Trust me, we paying for things. We're paying for things that you're not able to use, and you're not using it correctly. And I'm serious about that, because if I was homeless, I would have my sheets, my blankets, and I go up to the jail and I ask for a room, consolidated with the bars, and I get my 3 meals, because you shouldn't be homeless in Americus, Georgia. We have to deal with this issue. I know somebody, I think Reverend Musk was trying to bring a homeless shelter. It didn't work out so much, but we have to have somewhere to put them. I always talk about the community gardens. We'll have a way to feed everybody here, but you definitely got to take care of the homeless. So, yeah, it's a pride thing too also. Bless.
Thank you, Marcel.
Yeah.
Kathleen, homelessness.
Yes, I definitely have an opinion on this. A lot of it, I see my neighbor helps a lot of people, their children. Parents kick them out at 18, they've been problems in not getting the mental health they need as children. Parents are not equipped to deal with a lot of the issues that their children have, and they're thrown out, kicked out, and have nowhere to go. I ran into a gentleman the other day just at a play practice, and he had just been released from the hospital, had nowhere to go, was sitting in where they were having play practice. Tried to help him out. What is the answer? The answer is mental health crisis. We need mental health intervention. We need a mental health board at our police station, social workers that can help. There are programs available. Just because someone has an addiction or has a mental health crisis does not mean that they shouldn't be helped. They should not be forced out of where they're living if they're doing drugs. And I find that the homeless shelters, that they're banning people from coming. The gentleman I was trying to help had nowhere to go. So my neighbor offered and paid for a hotel for him for the evening. He had nothing, literally nothing. So I think that, you know, we need resources in our community that people can go and get stuff they need. Maybe lockers that they can put their stuff in to keep it safe, would be an option. Keep their blankets, keep their pillows, keep their stuff dry. I mean, you can't have, you know, he has no papers, he lost all his paperwork. You can't get help if you don't have a license, you can't get help if you don't have your birth certificate. And those things are lost easily.
Thank you. Thanks, Kathleen. Well, homelessness, and we know it's a problem, but what would you do?
So I'll bring it back to the citizens, and the reason why I start bringing it back to the citizens is because we need your voice, because you guys are impacted by this. And your voice is working with your city councilman to make it a priority, because just as Mr. Johnson said, we gotta look at the budget. And I gotta work with the council to make sure that the priorities, the main things are the main things. And that when we look at the budget, follow the money. The money will tell you where our priorities are at. And so the council has to take a deeper look at our budget to see, is homelessness really important to us? And that's what the citizens, your voice counts. Because when you scream loud enough, because I figured out that, hey, in our government, only the squeaky wheel, the loud squeaky wheel get the attention. So the more you are continuously talking to your council, getting that urgency, then we can sit at the table and have that as a priority, and our budget will reflect that. We have Middle Flint here, increased collaboration. We have vacant buildings, utilize the buildings that we have. There's more opportunity that we can create those shelters. But hey, we know the truth of the matter is, some want to keep us with the poverty rate where it's at, because that's how we keep maintaining our possessions, because we're afraid that if someone else gets an advantage, maybe I don't be the shining light. Well, we gotta understand that when we help the least, we automatically grow higher. And so when we can bring everybody together, even that homeless person matters, that's when we're gonna see the city shine again. So utilize the resources, increase our visibility as a council to making sure that priorities are set appropriately.
Good job, thanks, sir. Nicole?
Again, I think our resources are key, partnerships. Middle Flint they are awesome. They're great. Middle Flint has a lot of resources. And I think we could continue to partner with them. We have a lot of churches. Friendship does a lot with their homeless. Just being collaborative, and I think that will address our homeless issue in our city, but being proactive. If we don't start looking at it now, when we do look at it, it's maybe too late. So I think just being proactive, knowing that we do have a rising problem, and start addressing it now.
Thanks, Nicole. Lorenzo? Bring us home.
You asked me last, everybody hit great points. But I'm gonna say it again, Middle Flint collab is also very, very important. Middle Flint has been in this community over, I would say, majority of my life, I've been so over 50 years. And so I think we need to bring them to the table, and have them as one of the stakeholders in making this decision as well, because they do a lot of homelessness already. Also, we know we have churches. We need more visionary like Reverend Mike. Reverend Mike had an idea to utilize that church as being part of that homelessness venture. So to get those kind of visionary people to buy property and think about more than just one set of priorities would be great as well. But also, I mentioned this earlier, we need to utilize what we got in front of us. We got a land bank authority. Why not utilize it? The city is going to sponsor that. Their authority is basically on the city government. So why not utilize it? Buy that property, get on tax break, and you'll get opportunity for people to feel like, you know what, I'll buy that property, I'll build that building to allow us to help, because we put in initiatives like sewer, we put in water. And so it's a lot of things you can do. I think we should just not think outside the box, and we're not going outside of other communities and seeing what they're doing. We right down the road from Lee County and Douglas County. They got some issues, some things they're doing that can help us out a lot. We got to collaborate with other communities and see what resources they're using. But I come back to what I said earlier. The land bank authority is what we got in front of us. Why not utilize it? It do so much, but we just not finding those opportunities to utilize to help those individuals we talked about.
Okay, thanks, Rizzo. I got a few questions that came online, and it may not be something that concerns all of you recently, but somebody may want to speak up about one of the questions. And one of it is, there have been many notices and complaints issued to property owners and businesses in violation of city code. Yet, the penalties and follow-through often seem ineffective. What will you do differently to ensure enforcement procedures, visible results, and move the city from reactive to result-based actions? Anybody want that?
I'll take that.
Go ahead.
We have a code enforcement officer. Those ordinances that you're talking about, it's in those ordinances about dilapidated houses, property that has a view car, it should be removed, if not mobile. So we just got to enforce what we already got in place. We have a code enforcement officer, we need to hold them accountable for doing their job. There's no new policies out there. It's just accountability from American County saying, hey, this is what we want to do. Our own council many years ago, we made sure that we hold those businesses and those homes accountable for them dilapidated houses. You're not cutting grass, you got a house that should have been torn down years ago. We made sure that if you're gonna renovate or you're gonna destroy. It's simple, it's not complicated. You just need a mayor and council willing to make those tough decisions and do what they said they're gonna do. So those ordinances are already in place. What do? You enforce the ordinance, it's not complicated.
Thank you, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I have agreed totally with what Lorenzo said, but there's also the disconnect of the city managers in charge of those positions, not the city council, even though we oversee the city manager. And I think that's one of the things why I agree that an administrator would be a better option for our city, or a hybrid of the two somehow, because it's not working. The system that you have here it doesn't seem to be functional, and it's not working. So we do need those enforced, but I see a disconnect also in how they're enforced. Some people are fined and some people are not. There's several homes that are owned by property owners, and they're just same way since I've been here 2 years now, and nothing's been done. And they're right at where we have our train station and our activities, the buildings downtown. There just seems to be, the enforcement is not fair. And I think that is my biggest concern, is why is some people being enforced and some people not? And that's from the zoning, but is the city manager managing that? I don't know. But I've been down to the zoning office several times, and they have, they're short-staffed also.
Nicole, code enforcement can be very complicated, but it's important. It can bring blight, or it can bring affordability to the your opinion about code enforcement and how we regulate that.
I think our code enforcement does a great job. The key to this is we must be consistent all around the board. And I think that keep us effective, that when whatever we do on one side, we do it throughout. And it's been stated throughout. That's what we want, consistency throughout all departments. And that will make sure that all of our codes and will be equally. We won't have people feeling like I got fined and they're doing the same thing. And I think it'll help without blight, because we'll stay up on it. Staffing is also an issue. We can only do so much. And when we're holding people accountable, once we start overstretching them, then we begin to drop the ball. So that becomes an accountability issue too. So it's 2-3 pieces in one. But I think that if we just be consistent with what we have now until we expand, when we get jobs and be able to hire more and staffing and bring revenue, and it will get better as we go along.
Anybody else want to stab at that? Yes, sir. Go ahead, Chris.
Being in construction all these years, I've had a lot of experience with code enforcement. And I think one of the biggest things I've seen is that, a year or two ago, we had the building code, and the code enforcement went through and rated all the houses in Americus. And they put a grade on every house so that you could describe what the blighted properties were. And the plan, as I understand it, as Mr. Johnson said, we have ordinances here to deal with this stuff. They plan on increasing the property taxes on those blighted properties. And then the ball got dropped. I guess the city manager never enforced any of that. The mayor and city council never held her responsible. So here we are. We got the same problems over and over again because the codes we have aren't being enforced.
Travis.
all those are great answers, and I totally support each and every one. Because I do see that, there's an effort going on. But one of the things that I want to do from a mayor perspective is to work with the council is to, one, make sure that our ordinances are updated and it's reflected with the direction that you as the citizens want to go. Because I believe we have some very outdated ordinances that are not for the betterment of our city, or to the point where they're not in our current state of how we want to progress as a city. So I would definitely want to make sure that what our code enforcement officers are working hard to enforce, that we do give them the right tools to be successful. And then again, we got to educate. We got to put these ordinances not just on the website, but we got to start to talk about it more so our citizens are aware of what our city ordinances are and what they're being held accountable to.
Okay, Marcel, you want some of that?
Yeah, here we go again. Blight properties, blight. To my people who's watching, that means unsafe. Unsafe properties. Y'all losing them. Listen. The problem we have here is morale. Everybody's doing their job. They ain't doing it to the best they could because they're not happy. Y'all are not happy. You lost Americus High and the morale just ran straight out the door. We're bringing that school back. I don't know what's going on with this city, but you're not happy. To bring your trash can to the end of the road, it's just something you should feel good about. When your property, mowing your grass, keeping your paint, even the small businesses, look at your signs. I'm looking at y'all signs. They're not painted. I can't hardly read the words. The lights dim. You're not happy.
Yes, sir. Anybody else want some of that? Okay. I got another one for you, then we get to the light. Accountability. Wow, accountability, a strong word in leadership, especially in politics. You are accountable to the citizens, and you're also accountable to other leaders in this community. You're accountable to the county commission, you're accountable to your state delegation, and you're accountable to your DC delegation, so to speak. It all sort of rolls down or rolls uphill. How do you respect that accountability? And just tell me how important that is to you in the jobs that you'll be responsible for. You got a citizen, but you also have a city commission, a county commission, and you have state representatives. How do you keep all of that connected in everything that you do? Because I think that's a reality in your life each and every day, right? I'm gonna start with you, Trav.
Very good question, and if I can for a moment, and very short moment. I'm running for mayor for the city of Americus for the entire community of Americus, not just for a certain population of Americans. I'm designed to be the mayor for the entire city. That includes everybody. Even I'm waiting on the question to be asked about our Hispanic community. I want to be their mayor because they're important to this as well. So we talk about accountability, and what does it mean? Very simple. Right is right, wrong is wrong, regardless.
Yes, sir. Marcel.
Hey, I'm saying military integrity, number one. I teach my kids, they know, no stealing, no lying. That's my main thing. Don't do that. Right is right, wrong is wrong. I did or I did. That's it. Pass.
Christopher.
Yeah, I mean, we all know what right and wrong is, I think. And as far as holding people accountable for those actions, that's what we got to do. If somebody's making consistently bad choices, we need to deal with that. It doesn't need to keep going on.
Nicole.
I will continue to build relationships. You have to, with our county commission, it takes both of us. When we get funding, we have to work together to see where that funding. We have to sit at the table together to discuss funding. So you have to have relationships with all entities. Accountability, but first we must hold ourselves accountable. Are we being available? Are we making ourselves available? Are we making ourselves where we can communicate with these different entities? Are we reaching out? Are we looking up stuff to help our city? I think those building relationships and holding ourselves first accountable means a lot when it comes to relationship with other entities. Because if we can't not we're not approachable. Who wants to work with us? We gotta be able to work with us. It starts with us. A lot of things I think start with us. You can't tear each other down. I'm not that type of person because my work shall speak for me. But it's very important that we just make ourselves approachable and be able to work together.
Okay. Kathleen?
I think it's basically what everyone said, we need to work together. Council needs to be on the same page, and I think that they need to listen to the person who's representative of that district in matters that represent that district, but also find out for themselves. And I think that goes back to getting the city council involved, more so in the community and having the community understand where the council is and who the council is. It's a team effort, and I feel that it's not running cohesive right now. And they need to be together on the same goal. As far as right is right and wrong is wrong, I agree with that. But I'm sure you could ask the same question here and everyone would have a different answer. We all have different backgrounds, we all come from different backgrounds, we all have different socio and economic backgrounds, education, everything. So we might not have the same answer or the same what we consider right. Just look at our political views today between the left and the right. We all have different viewpoints. But that doesn't mean that we can't come together and come to an understanding that things are doable. No one should walk away from a situation feeling they won. I feel they should feel that you compromised, you've done the best you can, you've represented what you can, and the majority of the people are going to get what they need.
Thank you, Kathleen. You did your best, right? Give you a
Absolutely.
shot. Lorenzo?
Accountable to I ain't here accountable to my district as one of the key accountability. I'm accountable to District 5. That's what I'm running for. I think that's we're not getting that proper representation right now. So my first objective is to make sure my district get those services and things that to promote a fair and outward situation. With accountability to other entities like county commissioners and state legislators, you gotta have that collaboration, you gotta have that communication. We got Freddie Powell Simmons in one seat, we got Max Church in another seat. Those are stakeholders and government officials that we need to have communication to be able to talk to it and ask for ideas and suggestions to see how we move our city forward. So the bigger thing to me is being accountable to your constituents, also being accountable to your stakeholders in your community, but also at the end of the day, be accountable to yourself. We talk about being on time and being present, but he said it at the point in time, it shows by your action, it shows by your consistency to do the right thing all the time, even when you're not being watched to do it. I don't need the platform to be in front of the camera to be who I am. I'm genetically and who I am every day. And so my personality don't change because I always look at myself as a servant. And what I said today, I can say it in front of anybody at the front porch, like I mentioned earlier. So just being accountable for what you said you signed up for. Do what you said you're going to do and do it to the best of your ability, and everything should be fine.
All right, thank you, sir. So, I thank all of you for the questions that you submitted. We hope that you heard what you have submitted and tell how y'all doing. So, let's go to a lightning round. And this lightning round is exactly what I'm expressing it to be. I don't want long answers. I want a quick answer to exactly what I asked you. And it should be fun and we should be able to see just where the wit is in the room. Good question. Number one, and I'll do this indiscriminately around the room. Bless you. One word to describe what Americus means to you. Kathleen.
Home.
Marcel.
Home.
Crystal.
Hometown.
Okay. Nicole.
Community.
Resilience.
Resilience. Okay. What's the first thing you'll tackle when you become elected? Christopher.
Crime.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Crime.
Crime. Marcel.
City council congruency.
Travis.
Good press.
Nicole.
Relationships.
Kathleen.
communication with the citizens.
Yes, sir. Come on.
Housing.
Housing. Okay, what's one thing that you'd like to see Americus look like in the next 5 years? Nicole?
Unified.
Kathleen?
Education.
Marcel?
The shiniest city on the hill.
Yes, sir. Chad?
Progression.
Kristen?
Lower crowd.
Lord Carter. My brother, come on.
It look like this big room here, a diverse of people, women come together, make a sound decision for the whole community.
Anybody else? That's it?
That's it. You got any last minute ones over there?
I know.
Okay, what we'd like to do, Lorenzo, we're gonna start with you first, right? So on the closing out of comments for today, thank you all for how disciplined you were and how eloquent you were in expressing your points of view and getting us to really know you and get a good understanding of how you feel and how you think about your desire for leadership in our community. So what I'd like to do is give you, each of you, 2 minutes to summarize your priorities and how voters and you can reach those priorities. I want you to summarize your priorities. And I want you to give me a sense of how you and your constituents will reach the goal of the summary that you come up with. I'm gonna give you a minute to think about that. I want you to summarize your priorities. And I want you to give me your reflections on how you're gonna move forward with your community in realizing those priorities. Okay? And I'm going to start with Nicole.
Upon re-election, I will continue to be accessible to all, to make the best sound decisions for this great shining city on the hill. I'll continue to be able to work with each of my constituents, be a listening voice, and then I'll also be a voice for the people of the entire city. I'll be a part of making sure that if it is to be done, I'll help make sure it gets done.
Lorenzo.
Thank you for your time. Lorenzo Johnson, running for District 5. My vision is to do what I'm doing right now. I'm a product of my district. I want to continue to go door to door. Everybody seen my campaign. I think I'm probably the only candidate up here who did an extra door to door campaign. I walked my community. I talked to my constituents. I made myself available and visible to those who had concerns, who felt like they wasn't heard or seen. So I want to continue to do that. I want to continue to be a part of the community, continue to be a part of the concern, work with those who get elected in November, next Tuesday, and make sure that we make a sound decision for all constituents, all citizens, and we can do that by talking and realizing those differences don't have to always add up. But if you make a decision for all, at some point you're gonna make another decision that's gonna affect everybody in a good way. I said, this is my campaign slogan, playtime is over. That means a lot to me. I think people think me, I'm trying to limit the competition. Now what I'm saying is, let's stop all the politicking for all the wrong reasons. When I say playtime is over, I'm saying do common sense policies, do common sense ordinances that help the majority out. We got a big pool of differences, but at the same time, it don't take a genius to realize what needs to be done for this community. We need to come together and make those decisions and stop playing politics when it comes out to our citizens and our kids. So the playtime is over, and I am District 5.
Yes, sir. Kathleen, summarize, closing statement. What's your priority?
I'm running for District 4. My priorities would be progression with progress in our preservation. I believe a lot of our homes that need repairs are inhibited by what's going on with our ordinances and appreciate some of the rules that are being enforced for some and not others. I believe in service. It's personal, not political. Leadership isn't about titles. It's about taking responsibility and caring enough to act when someone needs something to be changed. And I see that things need to be changed. If elected, I will focus on clear priorities, keeping our roads and neighborhoods safe, strengthening communication between City Hall and residents. I believe that that's a priority that we need. Ensuring our children have every chance to succeed, whether they choose college or trade or start a small business. But I believe our trades are also very important and that we can partner with our schools for that. We need plumbers, we need electricians, we need welders, we need the people to do the work. And I think that would be, we have kids who need jobs, and that's great jobs, high-paying jobs. I believe in transparency. It builds trust with our community. And I'd like to see our residents have their voices heard. And I believe that getting out there and talking to our residents, I've knocked on a few doors, spoken to some people, and I do think that they're not being heard. So please vote for me in District 4.
Thank you, Kathleen. Chris, your summary.
Well, my top priorities will be crime and infrastructure, because that's what the people in this community have told me their top priorities are. So I'm out and do what they want me to do. I too have gone around to most of the houses in my district and knocked on the doors, left door knockers, and talked to the people there. Not to mention the fact that I'm kin to them, I know them, I've spent my life in this community, so most people know me, and that's how I know so much about what's going on here. People will talk to me. I think in short, if you like the way the City of Americus has been going, vote for the same people. If you don't like the way the City of Americus has been going, vote for you people.
Thank you, sir, Christopher. Marcel, your summary, your priorities, and why you should get the vote.
Marcel Baker, as your next mayor of Americus, Georgia. I'm here. Mine is unity. It's time to bring everyone together on the same page, okay? I can listen to both sides and still make a sound decision, which is key here. To listen to the council and get on one page and present America with the best ideas while using y'all tax dollars is what we want to do. I'm here to help, not hinder. My platform is to use the Miller Fuller format, which is to use what you have to get what you want, which is you. We don't have to wait on money all the time. We have each other. Back before we started charging to do things, we were doing favors. Okay, we don't forget about what this city means or meant to us. As you, Mr. Darrell, a stand-up guy over 40 years, brother, you done told me, you've been my guardrails too at times. So listen, it's time to stand up, take responsibility, take accountability, bring the morale back to your city, your dignity, stop fighting, and let's get on the same page and move forward. Marcel Baker for mayor.
So, Trav, your priorities that you summarize, and why should citizens vote for Travis Rush?
Thank you, Mr. Sales. Why should you vote for Travis Rush in this upcoming election? Simple, because we don't want to go back. Because what we had then didn't work then, and surely it's not working for us now. I ask for you to vote for me because I want to be the leader that leads a team of councilmen that can be focused on a city that has progress and purpose, a city that's built on innovation that drives growth, but most importantly, leadership that shapes change. And I think all of you can agree, because one of the most things that sticks out the most, and the thing I love about Americus is, and Mr. Johnson mentioned it best, I want to be your mayor to lead this city because I believe diversity strengthens our future. So when you go to the polls that are still need to vote for Travis Rush, because it's time for a new chapter, it's time for a new change, and it's time for our future to be out now. Thank you.
All right, don't get my hand. Saturday morning at noon, and all of you came out to hear these leaders express their desires to be in positions of leadership. And we appreciate all of you for coming out. We appreciate all of you for being here and
sharing your ideas and your desires for how to make our community, our city, a better community. And when we all come together and have this kind of a conversation, we all learn. So I thank you all for being here with us this morning, and I thank all of you for coming. And close us out. Thank you.
Whew, it's over.
Nervous?
You all, thank you all. I'm used to hosting events and doing things, but this was my first time doing something like this in the political realm and with the community. So I thank you all for your support. I thank you all for being here today. Just a few closing statements. I do want to, first of all, Mr. Frank Sarasoli, he was scheduled to be here this morning. He had death in the family, so that's why he's not with us today. So let's keep him in our thoughts and prayers. I want to mention a few things going on in the community. Mr. Johnson and Mr. Baker have mentioned, everybody else up here, about our youth, about meeting them where they are. So where are they going to be today at 5 o'clock?
Where?
They are going to be in Joyce Meyer Park. They are having a political get together. I'm not really sure what to call it, but they're going to be out there. Candidates, some of our candidates here that are on the stage today will be there. If you would like to go out, kind of talk to the youth about what's important to them, because they are our future. No matter what we think about how they do things, they don't think like us, they don't move like us, but they are Americans. And when my little Brandon grows up, he's going to be networking with these people. He is part of these people, and Lord knows he don't think like the rest of us. So let's get out there, let's go out there, let's support what they're doing. They don't feel heard, they don't feel seen. So like we're here, but we're moving. We should, if leadership is done correctly, once we get to a certain point, we step off the stage and our youth takes over. So they'll be at George Meyer Park today at 5 o'clock. If you can get out there to go out, you can get to meet with some more of these candidates, talk to them on a more informal basis if you want to. We had so many questions and on a little bit of time, we tried to get as many questions as we can read today from our audience. Out in the front from Sweet Arrow, we do have some treats for you as well. And if our candidates would like to come down and mingle with you, you can. I have dialysis today on I was supposed to be there at 9 this morning, so they're gonna stay late for me, don't worry about it. So also I want to bring something like to another event that's taking place today. Today at, what time is Miss Nadine? 4 o'clock. Everybody in this room pretty much knows Miss Nadine Hope. Most of you knew who my mom is as well. And if my mom had a Mount Rushmore friend, Nadine Pope would have been there. Ever since I was a little girl, Ms. Nadine Pope has been a part of my family and a part of our lives. She's going through some trying times right now, and she's asking for the community that she's giving so much to give back and support her journey as well. So today at Free Shield Baptist Church, they are hosting a program for Ms. Nadine. If you can make it there, do that. The Take Me Through event that I mentioned, it could be all night. So after you go and gonna be all night. So after you go through and show support for Ms. Nadine, if you want to drop by Joyce Meyer Park as well, do that as also. Each of you should have received coming in a little voter information. If you can, pick up one of those. If you know somebody in your family and you think they're not ready to vote, check with them. We'll be adding some stuff to the Levi Studio page as well. So you all can go there. Don't forget that early voting is over, but the elections are this Tuesday. So check one of these websites for your polling place, and let's get out there. We talk about the low voter turnout. It's still low, but conversations like this and those moving forward, we can change that. I want to just kind of do a few shout outs and then I'm going to end for today. So it was a lot planning this, and I want to just give a few recognitions to the people in the community that helped me make this happen. Miss Pamela Angry, Miss Jelena C., Lorenzo Walters, Jaleesa Hughes, or better known as Lucy Lou, Miss Brittany Wright McGrady, Peach State Community Involvement Agency, and the Americus podcast. So they are recording today. We were not able to go live, but immediately after this, we will post from today, the forum from today. And just thank you all so much. And we have a few city leaders that are in the building. We have Dr. Terrence Clemens, Councilman Nelson Brown was here, and I don't see him now. And then we have a school board member, and y'all know that's near and dear to my heart. So we have Mr. Edward Atkins. And then we have the city leaders that I missed. So thank you all so very much. And I heard the call to do more like this, and my effort today is get somebody else. No, thank you all so very much. And, thank you all so very much, and I enjoyed both of these. And I look forward to continuing the conversation.